Last night's episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live wasn't just another talk show segment, it ignited a firestorm, shattering expectations and transforming the stage into an arena of unfiltered truth. What began as a standard political interview spiraled into the most electrifying confrontation in late-night television history, leaving an unforgettable legacy. Before we dive into the details, drop a comment with where you're watching from and hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest stories. Under the blazing studio lights, the audience's energy crackled like a storm about to break. Cheers clashed with boos, creating a chaotic symphony as Karoline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary ever, stepped onto the stage. Her blonde hair gleamed, her steel blue eyes locked forward, and her bold red suit screamed defiance, a signal she was ready for battle. Opposite her stood Jimmy Kimmel, the late-night titan, his familiar grin hiding a plan to turn this interview into a masterclass of biting satire. The crowd was split from the outset. One side chanted for the president, while the other roared with laughter for Kimmel. The camera lingered on Leavitt's composed face, radiating icy resolve, as Kimmel stood behind his desk, his sleek black suit and glinting eyes those of a predator sizing up his prey. As the theme music faded, the spotlight tightened on Kimmel, his smile white but his gaze sharp as a dagger. "Welcome to a night full of surprises," he declared, his voice smooth yet dripping with mockery. The audience erupted, some whistling as he landed his opening jab. "Tonight, we've got a guest straight from the White House. Hope she brought a compass to navigate my questions." Laughter roared, but Leavitt sat stone still, her lips curling into a knowing smile, as if she'd heard this routine 1,000 times before. She rose, striding to the guest chair with unshakable poise, her red suit glowing like a warrior's banner. She shook Kimmel's hand, firm and fleeting, then sat, legs crossed, her eyes never leaving his. The crowd hushed, sensing the tension of an unspoken duel. Kimmel leaned forward, hands on his desk, his tone playful but loaded. "Karoline, welcome to the show. What's it like being the White House's spokesperson, or, shall we say, the cleanup crew for the president's social media storms?" The audience howled with laughter, but Leavitt didn't blink. Her smile sharpened, her voice slicing through the noise like a blade. "What's it like? I'm proud, Jimmy. Proud to speak for millions of Americans, not just the folks here spinning truth." 4 laughs. The studio fell quiet, save for pockets of applause from her supporters. Kimmel's grin twitched, just for a moment, before he rallied. "Oh, coming in hot. I like it. But doesn't your job feel a bit like comedy?" Leavitt tilted her head, her eyes gleaming. "Comedy? No, Jimmy, I leave that to you. I'm here to say what matters, not to juggle for the crowd." Applause surged, louder now, forcing Kimmel to raise a hand to quiet the room. His smile held, but a flicker of unease crossed his eyes. The lights burned brighter as Kimmel leaned in, his tone still light but carrying a sting. "Karoline, you say you represent Americans," he began, "but when the president's policies jack up prices, how do you explain that to folks struggling out there?" The audience leaned in, whispers rippling, sensing the shift from banter to real challenge. Leavitt sat tall, hands resting lightly, her gaze locked on Kimmel like a marksman. "Jimmy, price hikes are a global problem, not just America's," she said, her voice steady and sharp. "We're safeguarding jobs, shielding our economy from foreign reliance. Ever mention the millions who kept their jobs because of us, or do you just cherry-pick stats for laughs?" Cheers erupted from her supporters, drowning out scattered chuckles. Kimmel tried to pivot with a quip, "I love numbers, especially when they tank like the stock market." The laughter was tepid, and Leavitt seized the moment. "Market swings are normal. Jimmy," she said, her voice resonant. "What's not normal? You spend entire shows distorting reality instead of asking real questions." The crowd split, boos clashed with cheers, and a wave of noise shook the studio. Kimmel raised a hand, his smile strained, his eyes betraying tension. "Real questions." "Huh?" Kimmel shot back, his tone sharper. "Fine. How do you justify the president making claims that are, let's say, tough to verify?" Leavitt's smile was cold and confident. Polite? That's new for you, isn't it? She quipped, drawing laughs. I'm not here for word games. The president speaks his mind, and I clarify what needs clarifying. But if we're talking unverifiable, why not ask why your show twists words into punchlines? The applause roared, forcing Kimmel to pause. Without missing a beat, Leavitt turned to the crowd, her voice cutting through the chaos. Folks, I know you came for fun, but you deserve more than cheap jokes. You deserve the truth about our country, about what we're fighting for. The audience exploded, many standing and chanting her name. 5:19, Kimmel tried to interject, "Hey, this is a comedy show, not a soapbox." But his voice drowned in the crowd's fervor. Leavitt's gaze pierced him. If this is just comedy, why are you rattled when I speak the truth? Kimmel, his smile faltering, leaned closer, his voice now edged with bitterness. Truth? You talk truth. When the country sees you backing someone who's made a mess of things, don't you ever tire of covering for him? The question landed like a grenade, the audience holding its breath. Leavitt didn't flinch, her smile faint but defiant. Covering? I'm standing up for the people you ignore, the workers, the families, and the believers in this country. What do you stand for, Jimmy, besides laughs and ratings? The stage felt ablaze, the crowd's cheers shaking the studio. Kimmel's smile wavered, his eyes uneasy. You're good, Karoline, he said, reluctant. But if you're so confident, answer straight. Do you really believe the president's doing a good job, or is that just roll talking? Leavitt's eyes never left his. I believe in what we're doing, building a stronger America. What about you, Jimmy? Do you believe in your nightly lines, or are you just reading a script for a paycheck? Thunderous applause drowned out Kimmel's attempt to respond, the camera catching Leavitt's fearless confidence. Kimmel signaled his team, and a screen lit up, playing a clip from one of Leavitt's press briefings. The footage, edited to show her pausing under a reporter's question about tariffs, froze on her moment of hesitation. The audience laughed, Kimmel raising a hand triumphantly. Karoline, is this the truth you're talking about? It looks like you were scrambling when asked about prices spiking 15% from tariffs. Leavitt's eyes locked onto him, unflinching. Disappointing. Jimmy, she said, her voice slow and sharp. You dug for hours to find 5 seconds of me pausing, but not the 10 minutes where I laid out the facts. Tariffs created 2.3 million manufacturing jobs last year, per the Department of Labor. Want me to repeat that? Cheers overwhelmed the laughter, Kimmel's smile fading. He pressed on. Jobs? Americans are paying 20% more for imports because of those policies. Is that your truth? Leavitt's grin was icy. You love numbers, don't you? Before tariffs, we imported 60% of our steel from China, costing 500,000 American jobs from 2000 to 2015, per the International Economic Institute. Now, domestic steel production is up 25%. That's why I'm here, to defend the workers you never mention. The studio shook with applause, Kimmel's grip on his pen tightening. I won't let you make that a punchline. Kimmel tried to interrupt, you are turning my show into a political forum. But Leavitt cut through, her eyes blazing. No, Jimmy, I'm making it a place where truth is heard. If that scares you, maybe find a new career. The audience stood, their cheers a tidal wave. Leavitt turned to them, her voice resounding, don't let people like him shape your thoughts. You're smarter and stronger. We're fighting for you, no matter the jokes we face. As the show cut to a break, the studio remained electric, Leavitt's words echoing. She had turned Kimmel's stage into her battlefield, leaving an indelible mark on late-night history. The clash wasn't just a moment, it was a testament to standing firm with truth, no matter the stage.